Well, good morning out here again. Got 73 degrees this morning. And we got fog up a little high again. We keep getting promises of rain, but haven't seen any in a while. Not a lot of changes going on. I did plant a bunch more of those tomatoes that were gonna die just laying in the greenhouse. They may die out here in the ground as well if we can't get quite enough water, but we're gonna try. Some of the tobacco is doing wonderful, and some of the tomatoes out back are as well. See, the chickens doing all right here. Mr. Rooster over there. Yeah. Mr. Rooster there, he started crowing again about 2 o'clock this morning. And that kind of wears on a person. We've been trying to find a home for him out in the country somewhere, out at a farm. It hasn't worked out real well. See, some of our tomatoes have really taken off quite well. What I thought was acorn squash appears to not be. It is squash. And of course now my brain went dead and I don't know what it is. Cucumbers, we've already harvested a few. They're doing quite well. Snap peas, yeah, that's a bit of a waste, I guess. Well, maybe we'll get a little out of there. Here's another set of the tomatoes that we planted just because they had to go in the ground, and boy, they're pushing 2.5 feet tall now. My wife said, "I've never seen potatoes grow so tall." And I said, well, it's probably because there's not any real direct sunshine for them except certain times of day. That was one of those things that we planted just because it needed to happen somewhere, and this got picked. But they're growing, and that's a good thing, I guess. This is another one of those possible sacrificial tomato groups. Who knows? They are actually doing well. We've lost one out of the bunch. There's 30 there, I guess. I don't know what to do with this many tomato plants. Here's another one. I've got to get in this morning and stake some up. They were doing fine up until yesterday and probably didn't get quite enough water or something. And either that or they got too tall and can't support themselves quite right. There's 3 of the 4 of them that have fallen over, but there's a few with a few good sized tomatoes already growing on them. There's a few anyway. I'm actually looking forward to finding out if they've got any real flavor. The one year we did get a few tomatoes and they just tasted like you'd get from the grocery store, which was very disappointing. And then the next year I grew some in some pots over here, being a little more careful about what kind of soil they were in. And those were delicious, but we only got 4 out of that whole time. Mr. Rooster here is crowing mostly because he doesn't like us too much anymore. And if we're out and about, he fusses. I don't know if he thinks we're after his hens or what. But anyway, there goes the neighbor's rooster. They call back and forth sometimes just because. We got blackberries. They're doing quite well this year. There's quite a few of them if you take the time to chase them all down. Oh yeah, there's a morning glory. Morning glories didn't come out too heavy this year, which I guess is alright. Oh, look here. He thinks he's going to chase him. Don't ya? Mm-hmm. The tobacco, it's hanging in there. It's not doing as well as I'd expected. Although a few of them you can see are getting some pretty good sizes to them. And then there's the grapes. They're running some real heavy vines this year. And there's a good number of clusters coming along. I don't know if that comes through real clear, but you can see them. This vine normally has the least amount in this corner, and most of these vines are coming from the root that's way over on this end, and this one will produce like crazy, and yet they're the same grape. Who knows? I've got a broken line on my water harvesting over here. It's a little frustrating. I gotta get in there and get that fixed. Result being that, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 barrels here that have emptied out. That line up there broke, and that's what feeds these, but then the line underneath there broke, and so those drained out. I guess things like this happen, and it's just your everyday maintenance eventually has to be done. For some reason this gate got closed, probably because somebody had the chickens out and they got out front here or something. Anyway, our front yard has just always frustrated us trying to grow anything. I think this is a racetrack or something, I don't know. We got a couple of trees that I've planted over the years that are doing fair. That's a flame autumn maple or something like that, it says. And we got a pink crab apple. I had to think there for a minute. And there's a brown turkey fig tree. You don't ever get anything out of that, and it grows and then it freezes and it dies out. Anyway, we've moved on to putting some pine trees out here. We need some shade out front. That'd be nice just to get a break from the heat out in the front here. And we got this funny little mound up here. Our neighbor across the street there with the, well, you can see him there, decided a year or so ago to scrape his yard down and put sod because he was tired of his yard looking like mine. And I had him give us a batch of dirt, and I made this mound going across here because we wanted to put a 6-foot high fence up here to reduce the traffic noise. You can see